right.
We can't beat the procurement nerds.
No, I'm like, God, I wanted to be out here saying yes. Well, I'm really excited to be with you on this stage, the Executive Director of Families and Workers Fund, Rachel. And so, how's the summit going?
Summit's amazing. I'm so happy to be here with you.
I heard this is your second time, right?
Second time?
All right, so all the first summit folks, good person to follow here.
You'll be back.
So we've really enjoyed at Code for America, our team, working with you all on how do we make sure people can access public benefits. But for some folks in the room, they might not know a lot about the fund. So love to hear more from you.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Families and Workers Fund is a $125 million pooled grant-making fund. And we focus on helping to guarantee that there is basic economic security for everyone in this country and also chances for upward mobility. And we were founded in the COVID-19 pandemic, where so many of the systems that we're talking about today, so many government tech systems, really showed the way that they can support people in some of our hardest moments and also some of the challenges ahead of us. So that is still really core to our work today as a funder.
It's great. And I'm hearing, we like to give news on this stage, and I'm hearing you have some.
We have some big news that I am so excited to be able to share for the first time from the Code stage, and that is that the Families and Workers Fund, with our founding partners at the Bomber Group and Gates Foundation, we are launching a new pooled funding initiative called the Benefits, Access, and Equity Initiative. And this will make available $45 million for now in grant making and in partnerships with government to help improve access, delivery, and equity of these critical life-saving supports.
Everybody, yes. And you all are great partners. I really do encourage you all, please look it up, sign up. We need more. I mean, we often talk about this ecosystem really being together, and we all need resources to do it. So thank you for doing this. I have one last question, because I think a lot of this work is really meaningful for a lot of people in this space. And I'd just love to hear, before we bring up a panel and talk a little bit more about the logistics, I'd love to hear more about why you got into this work, really this initiative.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, the person that I do this work for is my little sister. Like lots of folks, we had a tough childhood, and there wasn't one thing that we went through where she didn't have me laughing so hard my stomach hurt. She is a light, and also like millions of Americans, she lives with a substance use disorder. And Amanda, I will never forget, a few years ago, she called me and she was like, "Sis, I don't have health insurance anymore. I don't know what happened. My Medicaid is gone. It doesn't work." And this was a time in her life where health insurance was survival. Health insurance was recovery. There was no option to not have it. And I remember waking up in the middle of the night just so worried about her, so worried. And for me, one of the things that broke my heart about it the most was she blamed herself. And there was no cause for that, because when I looked into it, what had happened is through the snail mail, some paperwork got sent out to her to try to re-enroll. It was sent to an address she didn't even live at. Her housing was really inconsistent at the time. She missed it, and it had this huge, profound impact on her life. And she blamed herself when the expectation should be that this public system was able to meet her where she was at, because nothing had changed. She was still just as eligible as the day before. For me, we know that there are solutions to this exact problem. In fact, many of you in this room built them. So my hope is that with our Benefits, Access, and Equity Initiative, that these are not one-offs, these are not one-times, these are not pilots, these are not innovations that happened in the past, that this actually becomes the norm for how our systems work, period.
Yes.
And I will add, there's a very happy ending to this story, by the way. My sister got a job a couple months ago at a nursing home. So she's doing great. She's taking care of people. And for me, she's this beautiful reminder, every day, that when we care for each other, when we do the work to make these systems and programs work, these folks go on, we go on to care for others. That is the whole point. When we make these systems and programs work, we are not giving up on each other, and all of us are worth that care and investment.
Thank you. Yes. One of the reasons I'm so excited for all that you guys are doing is really the way you all have actually entered this work with really that caring touch and a deep intelligence and knowledge about how this works. And so I'm excited to get to the panel, so I'm going to let you introduce them. Thank you, and congrats on the big announcement.
Thanks so much, Amanda. I am very excited to be filling in for my wonderful colleague Tianka, who unfortunately couldn't make it, and to welcome an awesome group of, can I say badass from the code stage? Badass women to come and talk and illuminate what we can really do with this work. So please come on out. So I am really honored to be here with you. We are here with Caira Woods, Deputy Director of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. We are here with Secretary Jilma Meneses, the Secretary of Health and Human Services in Washington State, and with Porschia Davis, who is the Director of Strategic Partnerships at mRelief. So thank you for being here. Secretary, I want to start with you, and I'll first say, by having this discussion, we are really bringing together the three key sectors that we know need to be at the table in our initiative and need to be at the table in ensuring that we improve these systems, and that is philanthropy, our government leaders, and tech and nonprofit leaders. So I'm really excited about the collective action that is already happening and the work that you are leading. So Secretary Meneses, I'm going to start with you. We have been so beyond honored to have the opportunity to learn from your team and collaborate through grantees, partners of ours like Sevilla. Please tell us about the incredible work you're leading in Washington State.
What we're leading?
Yes.
Well, first of all, we have a ways to go. But it's urgent, so we're doing it at record speed. We are preparing to we are building an integrated eligibility system that will hopefully bring ease to all of the individuals in the state of Washington that need benefits, meaning a one door, not a 1,000-page application or 1,000-question application process, but one door through digital technology with the assistance, right, of all who you said, including Sevilla and mRelief and hopefully foundations and so on. The goal is, my vision is to have not just TANF and SNAP benefits, but everything else, Medicaid, Medicare, child support, developmental disability, Social Security, et cetera, through one door, so that an individual can come, put in their basic information, or someone can help them put in that basic information, and boom, behind the scenes, we will have a rhythm of different eligibility criteria that are being met, and therefore that individual would get their benefits instantly. Not in days, not in years, not in months, not in several days, but instantly. That's what we're working on in our integrated eligibility system. And mind you, it's a collaborative, like we said, with a lot of different people.
It's incredible. Well, thank you. Caira, I want to go to you next. So you are one of the leaders of the Gates Foundation's $500 million commitment to economic opportunity and mobility. You are also one of the founding funders of our Benefits Access and Equity Initiative. So tell us, why are you making such a big bet on this issue?
Thanks for the question, Rachel. So this work is a part of our foundation's commitment to ensuring that all people, and especially those that have the fewest resources, get access to the opportunities that they need to be successful. And we know that millions of people in this country are working hard every day and yet still struggle to achieve economic mobility. Now, we got into the benefits work in particular because we were seeing so much progress and innovation happening as a result of civic tech organizations like Code for America and the many others that I know are represented here today. And these partners were taking relatively modest investments and making major improvements, whether it be in the civic tech infrastructure or benefits programs that have been around for decades. And that really highlighted for us an area where we might be able to have significant impact. And so over time, we really broadened our perspective on how we can and should be contributing around economic mobility, in part because of the tremendous need that we know exists. We've got about 45 million working age people living at or below 200% of the federal poverty level. And so we're committed long-term to doing the systems change work that's going to be required to improve the circumstances and address the barriers that those individuals are facing. And we also want to make sure we're doing our part to make their lives better in the short term. And so that's where benefits access comes in for us. And so that's why we're partnering with Families and Workers Fund and other organizations to ensure that we're removing barriers to safety net benefits and also improving the US's economic system so that it functions better for people who are experiencing poverty. And the last thing I'll say is that one of the things that we're most excited about related to this initiative is the way in which it helps individuals and families move towards short-term economic stability while they continue on the path to long-term security.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Caira. And Porschia, I'm coming to you. So at mRelief, you are leading some really innovative and exciting work, including text-based work. We know that you have, in partnership with government, been able to help 4.4 million people connect to SNAP benefits. 4.4 million.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So Porschia, tell us a little bit more about the solutions that you all are deploying.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you for that. So at mRelief, we build tools to connect people to SNAP benefits over text messaging, providing them and empowering them with information of their likelihood of eligibility in 3 minutes or less. And we also provide them with options and resources to support them to and through the application process. And having a text-based service model is critical in the work that we're doing today because we're really meeting Americans where they are. 90% of Americans own a smartphone, yet 24 million Americans living in rural communities with lower incomes and lower education are really being challenged by not having that access. And so what makes this work revolutionary, again, is because we are meeting Americans where they are by providing them with access to this information and services at the comfort of their own home, by owning a cell phone without having to be reliant upon internet, without having to show up in person at an office, without having to pick up the phone and make a phone call. And so, you know, similar technologies can really take this to the next level in that meeting folks where they are. You know, we know 24 million Americans do not have fixed broadband internet, and so we could really collaborate and partner in a way that is pushing the lever forward by connecting with our local governments, critical stakeholders, and really working with community-based organizations that are serving underserved populations. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Porschia, for the work that you do. We're going to do one last question. I'd love to hear in a sentence or two, what's your vision for the future? Like, we're back here many codes from now. What can we say here on the stage? And Caira, I'm going to come to you first.
Sure. So our hope is that we can galvanize the philanthropic sector really around this shared vision and encourage more partnerships so that families have opportunities to obtain the benefits that they're eligible for by transforming the way in which the systems work to be more accessible and simpler for all.
Amazing. And thank you for following the instructions. One sentence.
Very welcome.
Porschia, over to you.
The future is that we organize ourselves out of a job. You know,
Yes.
These programs should be opt-out and not opt-in. And we know this is possible because in other countries where they present real, true, functional safety net with fewer bureaucracy, really allowing for the merit-based staff to provide more services towards serving more people in less time being spent serving bureaucracy.
I would say that we meet our moral and legal sometimes responsibility to provide economic justice to people around us who potentially don't have it because we as a government or we as a community, and it's community because it's not just government, we have failed them with the bureaucracies. So that's what I hope, economic justice. And you remember, Martin Luther King said, whatever affects one affects all of us, as you said earlier with your sister. If your sister thrives and achieves economic justice, then you're going to be better off, and everyone around us is going to be better off. Yes. So that's my vision, economic justice.
That was incredibly powerful. I think you can see why I was so excited to get to share the stage with these three women. And we would really love to partner with you with this new Benefits Access and Equity Initiative. So if you run a civic tech organization, if you run a community nonprofit, if you are a government leader at the state, local level, we would love to hear from you. We would love to find ways to work together. If you are a funder, now is the moment. Now is the moment to go big, to really mobilize ourselves around this work. So with that, thank you so much.